guys, so I ordered some new Flat Stanley books that I thought you guys would really enjoy. This one is called Flat Stanley, The Lost Treasure. What do you guys think we're going to learn about in this book? Ocean? Treasure? You're probably right. Let's read and find out. Stanley Lambchop lived with his mother and father and his little brother Arthur. Stanley was 4 feet tall, about a foot wide, and a half of an inch thick. He had been flat ever since a bulletin board fell on him. So which one do you guys think is Stanley? Point to the one that you think is Stanley. You're right. I think you guys are right. I think that's Stanley. Sometimes being flat was great, especially on trips. Stanley could fold himself up and get comfy anywhere. Stanley could roll himself up and catch a ride too. I wouldn't mind a ride, grumbled Arthur. So can you guys find Stanley in this picture? His brother's looking at him. You're right. He's right there. He just rolled himself up so he doesn't have to walk. He gets pulled around. But being flat on the beach was a pain in the neck, and the leg and the arm. Ouch, cried Stanley. That's the 3rd time I've been stepped on today. Stanley brushed off the sand. Let's do something else, he said to Arthur. Want to go snorkeling? Sure, said Arthur. So the people probably thought he was part of the beach cloth. Because he's flat and people are stepping on him when he's laying out. Stay in the cove, Mrs. Lambchop called. Okay, the boys agreed, pulling on the mask. Stanley splashed into the sea, one last one in as a rotten egg. No fail, said Arthur. I don't have to put on fins, Stanley grinned. It's not my fault. I have them built in. So Stanley doesn't have to put on these fins because he's flat. And he can kick around just fine. Stanley's flat feet helped him swim faster than Arthur. But he didn't mind slowing down. There was so much to see. Stanley spotted a school of bright blue fish. Arthur pointed out stingrays. Hey, it's flat like you, he tried to say, but it sounded like gulp, 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 gulp. So he was trying to talk underwater. Okay, so can you guys find the blue fish they're talking about? You're right. Those are the blue fish. How many blue fish are there? 1, 2. 2 blue fish, and those the stingray that Arthur saw that thought looked like Stanley because they're both flat. A small silver dolphin zipped past Stanley. It swirled around and swam back. So close, he could almost touch us. Swoosh. The dolphin raced ahead again. It looked back at the boys, as if it wanted them to come along. Stanley looked at Arthur. Arthur nodded eagerly. The boys kicked harder and followed the dolphin to the end of the cove. Can you guys point to the dolphin? Where's the dolphin? Great job. The dolphin's right there. Below them, the ocean floor dipped. Though nestled on the bottom lays an old ship. Look at that. The dolphin dives down. The boys took deep breaths and dived too. They couldn't believe what they saw. The ship's sails were torn, its nets were tangled, but in the middle of the wreck sat a chest of gleaming gold. Who would be excited for that treasure box of gold? That would be really cool. Stanley kicked back to the surface. Arthur's head popped up next to him. Did you see that? Arthur cried. Let's grab a bunch of gold. We'll be rich. Hold on, said Stanley. That treasure must belong to somebody. Let's take one piece to show everyone. Then we'll figure out what to do. Okay, said Arthur. Just then, a wave smacked Stanley. Then another. It's getting choppy, he said. I think it's going to storm. Wait here, Arthur. I'll hurry and get the gold. Stanley dived to the ship again. He picked up a gold bar. It was the size of a candy bar, but much heavier. He slipped it into his pocket of his trunks. So he went down for a piece of the gold. Stanley was about to head back up when he saw the dolphin. Its tail was caught in an old fishing net on the ship. I've got to help, Stanley thought, before we both run out of breath. Quickly, Stanley rolled himself up. He tried to slip through a hole in the net, but something got stuck. The gold bar. Stanley yanked it out of his pocket and tossed it away. So he took out the gold bar to help that dolphin that is stuck in the net. Now Stanley fit easily into the net. He used his flat fingers to pry the rope off of the dolphin's tail. The little dolphin was free. Seconds later, Stanley busted out of the water. He took a deep gulp of fresh water beside him. The dolphin whistled softly. You're welcome, said Stanley. So Stanley saved the dolphin. Stanley! Yelled Arthur. Help! The water wasn't just choppy now. The wind was whipping in and into the wild waves. Jump on, Arthur, Stanley called. He threw himself onto the wave like a surfboard. Whoosh! Cried Arthur. The boys rode the waves all the way to shore. Oh, that's pretty cool having a brother that could be a surfboard, huh? By morning, the storm was past. Stanley and Arthur took their parents to see the shipwreck. It was here, really, said Stanley. Mr. and Mrs. Lambchop peered into the water. How many birds do you guys see in the sky? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 birds. The bottom of the cove was empty. No ship in sight. Not a trace. Perhaps the storm carried it away, said Mrs. Lambchop kindly. But Stanley could tell she was doubtful. Too bad you didn't keep that gold, mumbled Arthur. Then we'd have proof. Stanley heard a whistle. Hello there, dolphin, he called. The little dolphin whistled again. Then it flipped its nose. Something shiny flew through the air. Stanley reached out and caught it. What do you guys think that dolphin just threw at Stanley? Let's find out. Stanley smiled. Did someone say something about gold? So that dolphin threw Stanley a piece of the gold from the ship. Very nice. The end. Remember to take some pictures of the flat teachers that I sent to you guys this week. Do something fun with us. Eat lunch with us. Take us outside. Watch TV. Play Power Rangers with us. Bye, guys.